So the question is, what dream would you pursue if you knew for a fact that you had absolutely nothing to lose? What audacious thing would you attempt if you knew by not attempting it, you would literally die? That's where I was in January of 1984. I'm married, I'm miserable. I'm selling insurance, I'm miserable. I'm not pursuing the career that I thought I was born to, comedy, and miserable. People all the time ask me, were you born funny? Yes, as a matter of fact, an amusing thing happened on the way down the birth canal. That is the career I believe I was born to, and I was not pursuing it. And I was depressed, and I was having thoughts of suicide. Because depression and suicide run in my family. You may not have heard of this. It's called generational depression and suicide. Let's see. My grandmother, let me step to the side. My grandmother Dixie, that's my mother Dixie in her lap, died by suicide. My mother found her. My great aunt, who's sitting next to the gentleman with the white beard, died by suicide. My mother and I found her. I was 4 years old. And I myself have come awfully close to dying by suicide. This is the face that I show the world every day. I get out of bed, I paste on that smile, I put one foot in front of the other, walk through the world as if nothing is wrong, until it's time, an acceptable time, to go back to bed and pull the covers over my head. The reasons for that, I have two mental illnesses. One is called major depressive disorder. It's more commonly known as depression. And I have a less common mental illness called chronic suicidality. Now, you may not have heard of that. What that means is, for people like me and my tribe, the option of suicide is always on the menu for problems large and small. A couple of years ago, I had one of my cars break down. I had three thoughts unbidden. One, get it fixed. Two, I could buy a new one. Three, I could just kill myself. Yeah, I know it sounds odd, absurd to normal people, but there may be a couple of people here who are thinking, oh dear God, I have thoughts like that all the time. I didn't know there's a name for it. I say that because every time I've given a keynote where I tell that story, somebody, at least one somebody, oftentimes more, come up afterwards and share that they have been having those thoughts their entire life. I did a college show, a young woman came up. She said, I wanted to thank you for your keynote. I said, you're welcome. She goes, but I got to tell you, it made me weep. I said, how did it make you weep? She goes, well, when you said your car broke down and you had three thoughts. Get it fixed. Number two, buy a new one. Number three, or you could just kill yourself. She goes, I've been having those thoughts my entire life. I thought it was just me. I thought I was some kind of freak. And when I heard you say that out loud, I realized for the first time in my life that I am not alone. That's why I do what I do. So let's review. Married, miserable, and by the way, it's not my first wife's fault. She's a wonderful young woman. We were high school sweethearts, college sweethearts. We got married. We realized a little bit too late we had nothing in common. But you know what they say, I'm sure you've heard this, opposites attract. Yep, she was pregnant, I wasn't. So, no. I'm making that up. We didn't have any kids, and that was a blessing, considering the way it all ended. So I'm married and miserable, selling insurance, great business, but not for me, miserable. Not doing what I believed I should be doing, because that was really not my wife's idea of what I should be doing, going to the comedy store and amateur nights and pursuing a career in stand-up comedy. I'm depressed, I'm suicidal, and I came to a point where I realized, if I don't change my mind, I'm going to lose my life. If I stay where I am, sooner rather than later, I'm going to kill myself. The second thought was empowering, because I realized, wait a minute, I could divorce my wife, quit the insurance business, try my hand at stand-up comedy. If I succeed, that's great. If I don't, hell, I can still kill myself. I know, again, it sounds odd, but that is the advantage that I have over normal people. Okay? Because a normal person who is at that juncture in their life, married, say, in miserable, job and miserable, they got a dream, they're not pursuing it. They think, well, I could get divorced, I could quit my job, I could pursue my dream. Here's where it breaks down for them. Oh man, but what if I failed? I would lose everything. They have to make a choice, they have to make a decision, and most people, probably wisely, select the devil they know versus the devil they don't. I had no choice. Picture this, I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, 10, 12 story drop to a beautiful deep lake. Coming up behind me is a brush fire, wind driven.